Welcome to Tables,
Lists,
and Chairs.
the show where we go through our top 10 personal lists of a specific wrestling category. In this case, it is the best matches of 2024 so far. I'm Luke Owen, DAD. It's Dan.
Hi, Dan Layton.
And Tegan.
Hi.
Making a debut on TLC. You are also, but you filmed the pilot episode.
I did a Survivor Series 1 yonks ago.
Yes.
And then I've been poking Pete to let me have another one. But he always films it on the days when I'm not here.
Convenient.
I know.
Isn't it just? If you are new to TLC, this is how it works. We have gone through our own lists of this specific wrestling category, the best match of 2024, and we're going to go through them one by one. Our number 10 picks get 1 point, our number 9 picks get 2 points, so on and so forth, and then at the end, we'll collate all of our scores together, and we'll have a definitive top 3 best matches of 2024 so far.
And of course, it's no takebacks. What we say goes, and it's decreed, written in stone, and it can never be changed ever.
And I'm going to win.
So Tegan seems to think this is a competition show.
I seem to know it's a competition show. You guys are trying to pull a fast one on me, but I've been assured I've got 1 point already just for showing up.
You wrote your name on the top of the sheet, so that means you've already got something.
I've got 1 point, and then I went over my answers with some people, and I got some nods, so I count those as other points. And then I'm supposed to argue you both into like why you're wrong, why I'm right, win every round, and then at the end I get a tiara.
Well,
Let's get tiara.
No, let's get into number 10. In 3, 2, 1.
I win!
You got the most oohs.
Tegan's the most obscure one of the lot, so she gets the points.
Yeah. Can we do some admin?
Yes, you can do your admin, because I've got a bit of admin to do as well. We are recording this before Money in the Bank 2024, so there will be no Money in the Bank matches.
Yeah, I'm on the WWE beat here in WrestleTalk, and because of the sheer amount of programming and other things, there's a lot I haven't seen. So there is going to be no Will Ospreay on my list whatsoever, which is, I know, wild.
Controversial.
That is controversial.
And it's not about whether or not Will Ospreay is good or bad. It is about I haven't seen the matches, and I didn't want to just put on one of what I know are like 4 or 5 already match of the year contenders. I wanted to have an honest assessment of the ones I've seen that I really liked. I love that in this Queen of the Ring tournament and King of the Ring tournament, it was an incredibly competitive extravaganza, and one of them was showing Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria, giving them time, showing off what they have to offer, and that's why it's at number 10. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was a real damn good match.
Honestly, that's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Like, I love this Samoa Joe Hook, the world title match. It's quite short, but it was just really, really fun and entertaining, but I can't put it up any higher than 10.
I call him Samosa Joe. My match
That's another point.
is my match is Maria Slamovich and Shayna Baszler at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport X. I would go to Josh Hartnett's Bloodsport X.
I mean, yeah. I do get that confused all the time.
I know.
I'm like, why is the Hunger Games guy doing this? I don't know.
Hunger Games.
Josh Hartnett?
Excuse me. Josh Hartnett was a heartthrob from the 2000s. I had a
was
picture
in
of him in my
Halloween.
locker.
He was in Halloween
I'm thinking of Josh
H2O.
He was in Pearl Harbor. He was in The Faculty. He was in...
Should I just go home?
I was literally about to go, was he in the Hunger Games?
Who was in the Hunger Games? Josh who? Josh Hutcherson?
Josh
Yes.
Alexander?
Yeah, Josh Hutcherson. Yeah. Anyways, back to me. I picked this match because it was a lot of fun. There was no ropes. It was just 2 women grappling each other. It just felt like an MMA match with even fewer rules, and I had a fun time watching it.
It's also wild to see WWE doing stuff with GCW.
Yeah.
It felt like a little game changer.
Yeah.
Like, not to be...
Not to beat around the bush,
Yeah.
or, you know, too fine a point on it.
It was like, oh, this is what an interesting world we're in now.
Yeah.
And that's a really fine example of it.
It felt like Baszler had glitched into like your GCW game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've accidentally downloaded a character.
Great wrestler, yeah.
In 3, 2, 1.
Ha-za-za-za!
Oh, we were so close with something.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I like Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
so.
and I think he's not a wrestler. If I wanted to watch the gymnastics, I'd watch the Olympics.
Oh, Daniel. Dan, you were going so well.
You're going to be
joking, bruv.
excoriated. Oh no!
But both TNA.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I wanted to make sure there was some TNA representation on it because they've had
Yeah.
a very good year of TNA. And this, for me, is, as much as I loved that match because it was dead good, it's had Will in it. And what I loved about this, because this is on Will when he was basically on his, I'm heading to AEW, so I just want to do as much as I possibly can do. So he did his last days with New Japan, came in for a short run with TNA, finished up with Rev Pro, and then went across to AEW.
Because time moves so quick, and before you know it, we had like 12 pay-per-views in the space of a week. So you're like, okay, well, I'll pick out the highlights and I'll add those to my list. And now I just have like a day's worth of Will Ospreay matches to watch at some point in my future. But I picked this one because it was a massive feel-good moment at the start of the year, Hard to Kill. It was like a really nice, here's a statement of intent for TNA. This is their big sort of like rebirth moment. It was two big uns having a big old match.
It was big meaty men slapping meat.
But it was not even, there weren't so much slapping meat as they were like technically bruising the meat. It was a real technical skill. I loved it.
It's a fine line, a science, and an art.
I agree.
Slapping versus bruising the meat.
This match.
Yeah, okay. First of all, I'll say I don't have TNA represented in my list because I represent TNA in real life. So I picked, my winning answer was the Queen of the Ring final, King and Queen of the Ring, because the way that I watch and experience and remember and retain wrestling is through friendship and the inside jokes made. That I watched with you guys. And that match, the moment in that match when Nia Jax spatchcocked Lyra Valkyria, to me yielded my favorite inside joke in the world, and it's full of warm memories for me, and that's why it was one of my favorite matches of the year to watch.
Editor Rich, can you just insert at this point here our reaction to the finish of this match?
Go, Lyra!
It's like, you know when you get those roast chickens from the grocery store, you're just like, I imagine that's what her pelvis did.
That Dwayne Johnson hire worked out, right?
It is legit, I think, my favorite finish to any match I've seen this year.
Yeah.
When Nia's just like, at it.
I'll be on the tube out of nowhere, and I remember that moment and laugh.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Aye.
Oh!
So
Oh!
Springfield, Illinois.
Yes, this is my Roman Empire. The moment that Rhea Ripley delivered Stink Face to Nia Jax in a house show in Springfield, Illinois, and someone posted the video to Twitter, and that clip lives rent-free in my mind.
When you read it, I was like, oh, the Elimination Chamber. And I was like, hang on.
Nope.
Sprongfeld?
I'll say this would never happen in Shelbyville.
A fine choice.
Thank you. I did win.
But like this, I'm gonna be serious a second, but not dissimilar to Bloodsport. It's like a state of the wrestling landscape where it breaks through.
Yeah.
And becomes a moment that becomes a part of what
This
becomes
match,
this storyline.
I was about to say these two actually are linked together.
Yeah.
Because part of that feud for WrestleMania 40 was you are shoving your butt in another woman's face. Like, I want to be an actual champion.
Yeah.
Let me represent this belt
and
properly.
I find that a really fascinating dynamic. And then they go out there and have a fairly incredible match, during which Becky Lynch has 100-degree fever and Rhea Ripley's just had an hour-long panic attack. And I can't conceive of them achieving this.
This was one of the matches where I was like, oh, I might take my break now. And we'll get someone else to... So, Dan, you and Zach can do this match, because I just wanted to sit there and just watch and enjoy this one. Obviously, you know, botch the finish when they do that brainbuster in the corner.
Yeah, he dropped him on the... Yeah.
Absolutely botched the finish. Something fierce. Couldn't believe it. But even with that... I'm kidding. Even with that...
Can we get like an I'm kidding banner to run across, just so that they know I don't actually think Will Ospreay and Simone Biles are the same person?
But this match is awesome. I wish that it was Chad, because that's the match I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be Chad versus Gunther and Chad to win. But hot dog, this is like such a great alternative. And this match is a great example of why Sami Zayn is as great as he is.
He is great.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh, we were all
Sorry, for a second I think you'd written the 2000 Royal Rumble, and I was saying
I've just misunderstood. Just misunderstood the game.
this year, bud. No, we've got the 2000 Rumble from
This
Riot
is the year
Cabaret.
2000.
From Riot
It
Cabaret.
was on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
night.
This is kind of maybe a little personal thing for us because all
Yeah.
three of us were at this show. The Britney versus Christina
Yes.
spots.
You better work.
You
Oh
two
my
lost-
God.
When Cassius came out as Christina,
Yeah.
and Amira then came out as Britney, you two lost your gosh
Oh, yes.
darn minds.
It was such a great moment. I saw Bob the Builder punch someone. I saw there was a sim. It was
Should we
glorious.
give the people context for what this is? Because obviously this was a show that happened in the Clapham Grand and it
Yes.
wasn't broadcast on
Al-
national
also,
television.
yeah, Riot Cabaret is like my favorite local indie wrestling show. I love them. They're my favorite show to go to. They're so much fun. You get to see really good wrestlers do some very silly things, and everyone just has a lovely time. The audience is lovely. The people who run it are lovely. It's at the Clam Grand.
The
Clam
Clam Grand.
Grand.
Palm Grant.
Like on the main event of this show was Michael Oku, Robbie X,
Yep, and Leon
Slater. So it's like this thing of like we can have this kind of silly gimmicky match,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then a main event like that, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
When they did this last year, it was the 90s Rumble.
Yeah.
And that was like the gimmick. Well, the end of it, Mr. Blobby was one of the final entrants in, and that got them loads of like mainstream publicity in the UK. So when they did the 2000 one, it was genuine like excitement amongst Riot Cabaret fans being like, what are they going to do?
Who's going to be
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, Simon Miller coming out as Goldberg, like really, really great. Whereas I've got the almost the total opposite of that. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Because look at it. Look at this match. They had the most perfect wrestling match at Wrestle Dream last year, and then they got into a ring together in New Japan and were like, do you know what we should do? That match, but better. And they did, and it was fantastic. This is Graps. This is my wrestling. This is what gets me going in the morning. This is what I wake up for. I will have this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nom nom nom. Please.
But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it was alright. I mean, it's number 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's number 7. This is no one loves breakfast.
I love
What? You don't know it's the best meal
It's
of the
the
day?
best meal of the
I
day.
skip it most days.
Daniel,
is that my
That's
controversial
bad for
opinion of the
you.
show?
Daniel,
One time
that is more controversial than not having Will Ospreay on your list.
One time when I was 9 years old, I skipped breakfast and I only got 9 out of 10 on the spelling test that day, and I've never missed breakfast since.
This makes so much more sense now. I so understand it. Okay, good. Mine is mine is Bloodline 2.0, Bloodline Wolfpack versus Orton and Owens from Backlash. They had a street fight that sort of set the tone for the evening. Backlash, obviously, with that French audience who was so vocal, so in with the action. And it looked like, you know, from Randy coming out and them singing his song and him in probably the 60th year of his career, absolutely fascinated that the audience, he's never experienced anything like it. And so he was in a good mood. Obviously, Kevin Owens is Canadian, but also French Canadian specifically. Montreal has that kind of French connection as well, having that same emotional response. And it's just messy and it's just painful and brutal. And it set the tone for my evening so perfectly.
3, 2, 1.
NXT.
NXT!
Another close one there. I thought you would. You had a different triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did any of your guys go through a big planning class?
It's a good argument.
Like, it's not just, you know, the Derby spot is rad as all get out, but this is like from the entrance, Sting coming down to Metallica, coming down to Seek and Destroy. I think this is the greatest retirement match of all time.
Ooh, bold
I
assertion.
think this is like the most perfect retirement match ever. And that's mostly because all of the other great retirement matches have seen the guys come back. Right. So, you know,
There's still time.
I mean, look, there is still time. But for now, in the same way we used to talk about how Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker was a perfect retirement match, and now we no longer can.
Yeah.
But for the time being, it is the greatest retirement match I've ever seen.
Let's fight it out with our triple threats.
Yeah.
Okay. You did that literally.
Do you remember how we were given the instruction to be a bit quicker on this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For me, this was there's so many. It's possibly recency bias, but there was something about the spot where Wesley jumps to the outside, is caught by Obafemi, and then thrown at Joe Coffey, and the level of timing and precision from all three of them, that was absolutely exceptional. I loved the pace of the action. Everyone looked strong. Everyone looked on an even keel with each other, and Obafemi's just it, man. Like, that's the future. I love him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think for similar reasons, I think Obafemi is it. He's the future. I think the fact that NXT is eclipsing AEW in ratings, I think it needs to be said, the depth of black talent specifically on NXT is absolutely phenomenal. To me, Obafemi is like top of that list. So I picked my favorite match of his, which was against Dijak and Briggs at NXT Stand and Deliver.
We talk about like TNA have had a great year. NXT has really rebuilt itself to the point where, as you mentioned, there have been a couple of weeks where they've had more viewership than Dynamite has.
And I still tune in sometimes, and I'm like, "Who's this?" And also, what's happening? And that was a bit dicey, and that was But on a general point, it's the vibe. It's
the vibe.
The excitement.
And I think the TNA thing has created some real like buzz about NXT. They were getting that buzz without them, but it's leveled the buzz up.
Yeah.
Great, so I won.
3, 2, 1.
Hiya!
Oh.
What you got? What you got?
Oh.
What you got? What you got? Oh!
Yeah. Will Ospreay making another appearance on my list. I've got to make up for Dan's. But this match
Chill
here,
about it.
this match was awesome. This match was great. This match is great for multiple reasons. A, it was just an awesome match. B, I think Strickland needed this big world title feeling match.
Is this from the other day?
This is from Forbidden Door. I think he needed that huge main event level match because people didn't love the Christian thing. I think him then going up against Ospreay really solidified him as the top champion. But the other reason I love it, the sort of behind the scenes reason I love it, is the Fightful Psych report that came out about this match is that Will pushed for this match because he'd seen so much conversation from people like us on our podcast and stuff being like, oh yeah, but he's probably going to win the title at All In. And he was like, why are we talking about me winning the title when we should be focusing on Swerve winning the title? Like Swerve being champion. So let's do the match now and I can put Swerve over because I want to put Swerve over and establish him as the champion, take me out the conversation.
But there's also something really intelligent about how the business works. Like if you want to put aside any element of like magnanimity or whatever on Ospreay's part, just getting if that's not what's going to be happening, you need to remove that from the conversation.
Exactly.
And by doing it now, we can stop that conversation.
That's it.
Yeah.
We can now just focus and put all of our attention.
Understanding this ecosystem is very smart.
Exactly. Yeah, just putting all of our attention back on Swerve as the world champion, and also the idea that no one should be above losing to the world champion. I think, and like that levels up this match so much more for me.
I picked Bayley versus Io Sky at WrestleMania XL. I think these are two female wrestlers at the top of their game. Io Sky's got the best elbow in the business, hands down. It was so much fun to watch. I screamed a lot during it. So for decibels alone, it made my list.
Cody and AJ at Backlash. I don't love an I Quit match, so their follow-up doesn't do it for me as well. But when you think about what, after everything that was this WrestleMania season, Cody Rhodes becoming the champion, then what does he do next is the question on everyone's lips. Putting him in a match with AJ Styles, I think we all sort of went, yeah, that's a decent like first challenger for Cody, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then for them to go out and again deliver not only a fantastic match, but in front of that crowd, playing with the phenomenal chants, all of that stuff. He's quite good, Cody Rhodes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite nice.
Yeah.
I like him.
Is AJ's guy that feels like he's just sort of been coasting for the last few years, just being like, yeah, well, I'm AJ Styles. Like, it's almost impossible for me to have anything less than a 3-star match. But then this match was like, no, by the way, I'm AJ Styles.
And like the fact that when we did lead into that I Quit match, there was a little tiny part of me that was like, if I'm in the writer's room, I could make an argument for putting the belt on AJ as a result of what will make Cody's story more interesting, what will make the belt's story more interesting. That starts with this match, which then leads into that great, Mark Henry angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. Well done, guys.
3, 2, 1.
You missed it
You
by
missed
one.
out.
And I get a point for doing it first.
No, you
Nope,
don't.
no, you don't.
Don't take point.
We get points.
No!
This is double points.
Yeah.
No, not
Actually,
double.
and not only that, we also take all of your points.
No, you can't do that! I'm too stressed out for you to even say that! You have no idea.
No, but by all means, tell us why Danielson versus Okada is good.
You bitch.
I didn't even mean for it to come out like that.
You trifling hoe. How dare you? This was an excellent match.
Real
Come
good.
on. I think that was the standout match from Wrestle Kingdom 18. I love Danielson in an eye patch. The The whole thing.
I
there
mean,
was some,
yeah.
It was some great meat slapping. It was just so much fun to watch. It was a lot of me grunting and screaming, more than usual when I watch wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than their first match.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So to echo the point that you were making earlier in the last entry, when you downgraded this match to the lowly position
you did,
of
yes, you did.
5, I would liken this match a little bit to Sasha and Bianca's match at WrestleMania when they had like not a great build going in. And then they put on this incredible match. And that is the match. And no one remembers the build now. They just remember the match.
Yeah.
I think it's the same here. I don't think they did good enough with the breakup of Damage Control. But the match itself is so great that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And the match is so... I think if you remove all the Goo Goo and Gaga from the 2 main events, this is the best match of WrestleMania 40.
I'm gonna take what you said one step further and say that they did Damage Control wrong, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that as a result led to this match happening between 2 people who we kind of forgot just how good they both were individually, and this was a fantastic reminder of that, to the point where Io Sky is on my list twice because it's like, oh yeah, she's it.
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Oh!
Interesting.
Goodness.
I'd like to visit the timeline where it's Rock versus Roman. Just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I just want to see what that timeline looks like.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy we're in this one.
Yeah.
Where we got this match instead. This match was beautiful. This match was great. This match is perfect.
I picked Ospreay because I do like him as a wrestler.
I don't want. I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative. I like Will Ospreay very much.
Well,
No, you built it. You smelt it. You dealt it. You hate Will Ospreay. So
I'm going to tell him.
If this is going to build to a Will Ospreay versus Dan Layton match, it's
I-
going to make it to the top 10 of 2025 list. You better watch.
We'll see.
No, I never watch my own work back. It's not.
Okay, back. It's my turn for the center of attention. I so rarely get this. I picked Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a fantastic match. I will never tire of watching Will Ospreay backflip off things. There was meat slap, there was titty slapping, which I love. There was suplexing off top ropes, which I also love. I will say it wasn't my favorite Will Ospreay moment of all time, which was in the pre-show, the press conference before his match against Takahashi, where Takahashi delivered him fried chicken, and he had no idea what was going on. So that endeared me forever to Will Ospreay, so I picked this match. It was very high on my list.
This level of knowledge of what was going on and what's happening and smartness within wrestling, to genuinely be afraid for Randy Orton's health at one point during this match as a fan, was a really nice feeling. I know that sounds mad, but there was something about the storytelling and the brutality and the selling job in particular from Randy Orton in this match where I was like so invested that I thought it was a credit to both of them.
I think it's a credit to how good the match is that no one talks about the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great match.
3, 2, 1.
Hiya.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Oh, that was a good one.
I'll jump in here quickly just to echo everything you said earlier on. It's this high on my list because kind of similar to what you were talking about right at the beginning of the episode, we sort of watched it together in the office, and that was a very nice little memory. And I think that when it's a generational, intergenerational, multi-generational talent like Sting, the celebration of not just where he is now, but everything that's come before, the elevation of Darby alongside him. I don't like people being that cavalier with their health, but I respect their choice to do so. And it's just a bit of pageantry. It's just a bit of pro wrestling theater. I thought it was magic.
Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns on night 2 of WrestleMania. Yeah, it was. I screamed a lot. I bawled my eyes out. Like a little baby. I think with the whole bloodline thing, some of the best storytelling we've seen in WWE in recent years, certainly. And then to see just being personally invested in Cody Rhodes winning, like I'm gonna cry all over again. But yeah, you can watch my Instagram. I think I've saved it to highlights, which is me sobbing outright as he gets that belt.
This is the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen live. I was there in person for this, and it is topped Keith Lee versus Tomohiro Ishii. When he was cutting his goodbye promo, I was in tears because I had this moment of just like, oh, this is it. Like, I know he'll be back, And I know he'll wrestle in the UK again, but it did feel like, oh no, Will's going. And I got really emotional about it. And the match is just like, it's like nearly 50 minutes and it does not feel it. It feels like it is 15. It just rockets by. It's got so much drama. It's got shout outs to Mad Kurt in there. It is a beautifully perfect wrestling match.
We've talked extensively about Ospreay in this episode. Well, some of us have. But I want to credit Oku as well.
Absolutely. He is the other half of this.
My other nemesis. Because when we see like his work recently in Mexico, and it's almost like he's representing everything British wrestling is.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes, lad.
He's our guy. Right?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, so we're going to be seeing
It's coming home.
Well, so we're seeing the Rev Pro show they're going to do at the Copper Box before All In, when he's going to be facing Luke Jacobs. And I think that is going to be him losing the British Heavyweight Championship. And I love Jacobs, and I think Jacobs is like the perfect guy to dethrone him. But at the same time, I'm going to be really gutted to see Michael lose. 3, 2, 1.
Hey! Oh.
I was so curious as to what was going to be your number one, because you had this and Cody and Roman lower down.
I went and saw both days of Progress Wrestling's Super Strong Style 16, and the Rufus Hound Invitational Battle Royal made it into my top 3 favorite wrestling matches of all time due to one spot where all, I think, 8 male entrants plus a referee, one at a time, nipple twisted each other in one long chain. They all did the wave and then all spiked each other on the head. It was a moment of pure ecstasy.
My God.
I have never screamed so loud for so long at a wrestling match. It was a highlight of my life.
That is sort of the joy of independent wrestling, though,
Yeah.
isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. Well, it's like the 2000s Rumble. Like, it's fun. I talk about this a lot on the WrestleTalk podcast. Wrestling is fun. It's an inherently very silly thing. And I love that we can have the smorgasbord where you can have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. You can have Ospreay Danielson. And you can have this. And they are all as good as each other. They are all of an equal footing. I love that this is your number one pick.
Yeah, it was the best. It was one of the greatest moments of my life.
To piggyback off the fun point, this match was everything it needed to be. Like, a massive Cody Rhodes fanboy. I think what he has done for this industry is unreal and is sort of edging into cliche, so people don't really give it the credit it deserves. I think what he did was unbelievable, and to bet on yourself to that degree, to bet on what we've subsequently learned, to bet on himself again during this period of time, and to have it come good in this moment, the catharsis we all had. You cried, I cried. Like, it's you cried, you cry. Dead inside. But like the catharsis that we all felt in that moment, the the Undertaker's here? Okay. And then that realizing in hindsight that also makes sense. And like so many, it was sports entertaining and it was good professional wrestling. It made Pete's death stare worth it. And if you can achieve that, you've done well.
It's all about like people you can build a promotion around. Like Cody Rhodes, I think, has become the template of you can still do blue-eyed, white meat baby faces and they can get over and it still works in 2024. Not everyone can do it, but Cody Rhodes can. And you want to talk about someone else you can build a promotion around? Goddamn Will Ospreay. That's who you can build this promotion around. And Bryan Danielson, for that matter, because these are the two. What I love about this is that this, for me, it's kind of like the complete opposite of this one, is that people going into this match kept saying, what's the story? What's the story? What's the story? Here's what the story is. This guy's the best wrestler on the planet. This guy's the best wrestler on the planet. They're going to find out which of them is the best wrestler on the planet. That is all you need sometimes. When you've got names like this, you just need to put them in the ring together and they create magic. And this was magic.
This is Federer and Nadal. at Wimbledon final.
Yeah.
This is like, it's Argentina-France in
Yeah.
the World Cup final. It's
This is-
the best ones and they're there.
This is genuinely like, this is dream match territory. I can't believe I'm getting to see this. For all the people who are like, where's the story? It has created Will Ospreay's narrative for the rest of his AEW run that he's had so far, which is the Tiger Driver and his reluctancy to hit it. And that has played into almost every single match he has had. So they've used the magic they created in ring to create a story that he is now using as part of his character. And I love that about it. We've got our results.
This was quite a
I'm
varied list.
so
Very
nervous.
varied, yeah.
I hope I win.
So we have got, here we go, it's up here. Editor Rich has written, wrestling needs more spatchcock.
It does.
Yes.
So, in at number 3 with 18 points, Danielson versus Ospreay.
Ooh.
At number 2 with 20 points, Bailey versus Io Sky.
Oh,
Which I'm
good.
so
Yeah.
thrilled
Yeah.
about. Absolutely
Good for
love.
them.
Which means at number 1 with 27 points, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns from WrestleMania 40. Richly
Nice.
deserved.
Yeah.
Richly deserved.
Yeah. So glad I won.
Deegan wins.
Yay!
Actually, doesn't Dan win? Because Dan did have that as his number 1
Oh.
pick.
No.
Oh, so I think.
No.
Oh, I think I'm going to say. I'm overruling. I say that Dan wins.
Opulence.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this piece of content, why not watch us do the same sort of format, but about the worst Money in the Bank cash-ins ever?
Why won't they cheer? I just can't figure it out.
We tried nothing. We're all out of ideas.